Welcome back to the workshop vlog. Today, we're making our race car official by adding a race livery. And not just any livery. We're going to make this custom by hand using knifeless tape. Knifeless tape is basically a piece of tape that you stick on the car with a fishing line inside. And you can actually pull that fishing line through the wrap material so you don't have to cut on the car. As you know, we have a lot of partners for this project. So we have Full Car Tuning, Vivaldi, your detail company, and of course, not to forget Go Eco Chip Tuning. We don't have stickers from them yet. Those will come in the future, but we have one problem, and that's the wrap material. As you know, this is a budget drift build, so I didn't order hundreds of euros worth of wrap material. But we have a lot of leftovers, check it out. We have so many leftovers that I think I can actually wrap the whole car with. Yeah, all these pieces. And besides that, we have a piece here, a piece there, all different colors. What we're going to start with is the front, I think, because the front can get a bit of a meaner look. And I'm going to do that by first removing the front bumper. As you know, that front bumper is really super easy to remove. Because yeah, it's held on with 2 bolts and that's it. And besides that, we're going to do the headlights. We're going to wrap the headlights in yellow, so with headlight film, because I really think that gives it an instant race car look when the headlights are yellow. And besides that, of course, we're also going to wrap the whole car in a certain, pattern-like design. It should really look like a race car, or at least have a drift car livery style. So yeah, we're going to do everything freehand, so to speak. I have a few ideas in my head about how I'm going to do that. We're going to start with the front then. Yeah, first take off that front bumper. I think that's the easiest. Then wrap the headlights and then the hood. Because on the hood, a bit of the design already starts, so it matches the rest of the car. So I'll just take you along with me. As I told you earlier on our main channel, that front bumper is really super easy to remove, because it's only held on by 2 bolts. And then it basically just comes right off, so BMW really thought this through and made it super easy. I'm actually happy, because usually you have to remove the wheel wells and more to take off a front bumper. And with ours, you don't have to. That's really super nice. So if we ever need to take off the front bumper at the track for some reason, yeah, then it's off in no time. 2 bolts. Open the hood. There it is. There. 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 And that's how simple it is, guys. As I just mentioned, I'm going to start with the headlights. That makes a big difference immediately since they're still clear and transparent. Soon, with that yellow tint, it'll look like a Deutsche Tourenwagen Masters car. Because they often drive with those yellow headlights, which is really nice. Headlight film also shields headlights from stone chips, so they're less likely to crack on the track. If there's a car in front of you and it kicks up stones with its wheels, yeah, your headlight just won't break that easily. That's a nice advantage of the headlight film. We're going to apply it now. It's a difficult process because you apply this with water. That way, all the air bubbles basically go away from under your film. It doesn't have an R-release system like regular wrap film does. So, regular wrap film basically has air channels which allow you to get all the air out of your wrap. And headlight film doesn't have that. So first, of course, we're going to degrease the headlights thoroughly, clean them, and then apply the film using soap. And why did I take off the front bumper? I did that for the following reason. It's really hard to get behind that edge, and I actually want to trim it right along the edge. I've got soapy water here, which you also use for window tinting. It's kind of like, what's in it, baby shampoo, and it dries really nicely without any spots. Like this. Like this. I'll also spray a bit of soap on here. Like this. Then you just stick it on very easily. Then squeegee it on. Like that. And then I'm also starting right away with the hardest part. That's actually the headlight film. Applying the wrap material is a lot easier. I just want to trim the edge. I messed it up this quickly. I already cut too far into the headlight, so to speak. So this one can come off, and we're going to start over. Again, I'm not a professional rapper or anything. For me, it's also just learning, every single time. If I make a mistake, please tell me. I want to learn. I'm grabbing the hairdryer. I think it'll help. There, done with the blow drying. Now let's cut around it for a bit. I think normally you're actually not supposed to cut on the headlights. Since this is a drift car, I don't really care. But if you have, say, a Range Rover or just another nice car brand, really guys, don't do it. Seriously, don't cut your headlights. And so this is one. So I just finished the left side. Check out how nice it looks. It's actually the right side for the car. The difference between left and right. I personally always think it looks really nice on a red car. Yellow headlight film. So now we're going to wrap the left front of the car in yellow. And then we'll continue with the front. Because, yeah, the hood can't stay empty either. So I'll come back with the result once I've done this one too. I won't bore you with footage of my process. Later, when we work on the hood, I'll show you how I do that. They're both on now. I think it looks really sleek. It immediately gives it a different look from the front. Let's close the hood for a moment. Check this out. Wow. It instantly looks a lot tougher. I have to say, I'm not a professional. Again, the finish isn't 100%, but since it's a drift car, it doesn't really matter that much. It's not a show car. Look, I'd rather just do it right when I really know how it should be done. This is just great, I'm happy with it. It just looks good. I'm now gonna use knifeless tape, basically to lay out these lines, because I actually want all these lines to be in gloss black. So I actually want it to go down like this, that way. The nose completely black, and then back up again. That's what I'm going to explain now with knifeless tape. I need to remove those grills first before we can do that. This is one. And this is two. Oh, there goes the clip. Also, take that logo off the front. Because, yeah, actually, when you take things apart, you don't have to make it so difficult by cutting around them. It's easier to take things apart than to cut around them or mask them with knifeless tape. Like I just mentioned, I actually want to use the lines of the car again in the design. I need to degrease the car before applying knifeless tape. Fortunately, the car has already been completely polished by your detail company. That definitely helps. All the dirt is gone. Actually, it's gone because it's been polished. Knifeless says it all. Actually, you don't need a knife to cut because, as I just mentioned, there's a fishing line in here, and that fishing line will make sure you cut your wrap later. The most important thing is that you don't lay it down 10 cm by 10 cm, but that you make long strips all at once. Because if you do that, you'll get much cleaner lines, like this. I've arranged all the knifeless as I want. I'm not sure if you can see it well on camera, but these are the tape edges that we'll pull off later so we can run the wrap through them. Look, I'm going to use red as the base color because, as you know, the BMW is red. Wrapping everything in a contrasting color requires a lot of wrap material.
And besides that, it's also a lot more work. So what am I going to do?
I'm going to stick black on everything now so that it overlaps properly. And Daniel, he just called me. He said, yo, I still have a chrome delete. And those are really nice strips to use for things like this, so I'm just gonna put them on now. And then later fill it in with the leftovers we have. It's looking much better now since we have more space to stick things, which makes me happy. Heat the knifeless tape on the car so it sticks. Later we can run the fishing line through to cut the wrap. I'm curious, I've done this once before and I hope it goes well. I'm curious how this will turn out, since I have it in my head, but now it's time to make it happen. Here we go. Chrome delete on it, but it's actually just wrap material, so... Cool.
Make a nice transition so it's the least noticeable.
Like this. By the way, this is called a squeegee, just so you know. Look, as you can see, it's on super tight. Now for the other side. Because this isn't really fully on yet. It's stuck, but some spots are still lifted and wrinkled. I'm not sure if you can see it. So we still need to blow dry all of this tight and then paint the front black for a bit. I'm painting this black too, like I said. It's going to look awesome, guys. As you can see, I've put the grille back, I've put the logo back. The front is now wrapped, so it's in glossy black. You can still see those seams, but yeah, it's a budget drift car. From a distance, seeing this slide looks really cool. Next, here's what we'll do. We're now going to pull that fishing line through, as it were, because it's sticking out here at the bottom. As you can see, we're going to pull it through. And with that, we'll cut over the car in a moment. You'll have the straight lines we've made. I'm curious. We've spent about an hour and a half just on the front. So it takes quite a long time, but the result will be really beautiful, so I hope I can show it to you. But this is the thread, I mean, and you're going to pull it through the wrap like this. And that way, you're basically cutting your wrap material and not your paint. The piece that's behind it needs to go, so this is going away anyway. There you go. We don't need that. Add it to the pile. Blow dry the edge you just cut with the fishing line. As you can see now, I've pulled the knifeless tape through everywhere, and those lines turned out super clean. You guys are probably still thinking this isn't really a race, is it? Livery. No, that's right, because it still has to flow completely with the side of the car. So there will also be sponsor stickers on the hood later. We're still figuring out what will go where. And once the stickers are on, it'll make a world of difference. I'm not going to bother you with all those shots now like I just did with the hood. I'm just going to work step by step now, panel by panel, so to speak. And of course, I have to take everything apart again. So yeah, door strips off, indicator light out, and then continue with laying the knifeless tape. Someone already took this apart. It couldn't be otherwise. Not one broken, guys. That's a real record. Nah, this one is half broken.
Once all of this is off and cleaned up, we'll continue with explaining our knifeless tape.
I thought I'd use a camera trick to show you what the result will look like on the right side of the car. This is how it turned out. So it's a kind of camouflage, a sort of striping on the side of the car. I just don't really know what to think of it myself yet. In my mind, it looked really awesome. But now that I have it on that car, I don't think it looks that great. From now on, before I actually make a design on a car, I'll make some kind of render first. So, take a picture of the car on the computer, and then just put a design on the car based on that. Before I start doing things like this again, just randomly drawing lines, applying camouflage. It looked awesome in my mind. And yeah, in reality, it doesn't look the way I thought it would. I'm disappointed since I've put many hours into this. I really like the front, but it's just how it transitions to the side. Or maybe a lot more needs to be added, more stripes or something, to make it feel more complete. For now, I'm not sure, so I'll leave it at that.
And I'm going to think for a moment about what I'm actually going to do now, because there's quite a lot of work involved.
If I have to do the other side the same way and remove it again, that just doesn't make me happy. So I'm going to think carefully first about what I want, and whether I actually want this, and if not, I'll just take it off again, and then I'll start over. But my wrap material is also running out. As you can see, I've already used quite a lot. Oh yeah, I also added a black area here. I think that makes the front look just a bit cooler. What should I think about this? I don't know yet. What do you guys think? Go ahead, say it, okay? I called Daniel. He doesn't think it's great either. I'm going to let it sink in for a bit. I'm painting the lower lip black now. Because as you can see, we actually sprayed this shape by hand ourselves. And I think it looks cooler if that's also completely glossy black. But for that, I'm going to put the car on the lift for a moment. At least the front end up, because then I can just do it more easily, without breaking my back, so to speak. Wrapping the front for a moment, I'm actually a bit disappointed, to be honest. In my mind, it was actually much cooler than in reality. But yeah, you have things like that too. So... it looks really weird, doesn't it? Only the front is in the air. This makes life much easier since I just grab my chair now. There we go. And then I can easily wrap the front without breaking my back. So, we're going to work with a kind of inlay system again. That means that basically, you're first going to place things, first place the film, in places you won't be able to reach afterwards. As you can see now, I've applied the wrap and used a heat gun so it fits nicely on the car. And now it's just cutting it out, trimming off the excess wrap. Like I said before, I'm just gonna cut it right on the car. Usually, that's not done. You use the knifeless system, as I mentioned at the start of the video.
You don't use this anymore either.
Now I just need to heat up the rest. I'll also heat up this remaining flap, because the other side is still red, and now this one will turn black too. I raised the car a bit higher, so it works a little better. I expect plenty of car rappers will still comment on my video, saying things like, "You're doing this wrong." I know, guys. Again, we're just doing our best to get this done. I'm already happy if it's black. It doesn't need to be professional, or I would have outsourced it. As you know, we also outsource many tasks such as car painting. When we do body repairs, because some things you just want to do properly. Otherwise, it's a waste of your repair skills. But a wrap job on a drift car? Yeah, that doesn't really matter, man. Look, this side is done. Now just this side left. And then we can start with the underside of the bumper. I think it's going to look much better. So when it's just black later, it will have a much meaner look, which will also make it seem lower, because it's black. I'm curious, the car's off the lift, the front wrapped, just as I wanted. Look how nice that turned out. Of course, there was still a lot of damage on the front bumper, so that wrap, just look at this. There was a big tear here, do you remember that? Yeah, you can still see all of that through it, of course, but anyway, the front has definitely become a lot tougher. I'm still unsure what to make of the whole picture. I decided to put the car outside for a while to see how it looked. I think it looks better outside than it did inside. Maybe it's because it's a bit lighter outside than inside. I still don't know. On the other hand, I think the front turned out really cool. Now, it really looks like a drift car. And then you see the side. We still need to add our sponsor stickers, but I don't want to put them on yet. Before the design is applied, many stickers get wasted, which is unnecessary. So yeah, I'm going to FaceTime Daniel again to ask what he thinks about it. I think he'll want it taken off too in a bit, so yeah. But just to be sure, I'll call again. I've put so many hours into this, so I'd rather double check one more time. And then I might take it off again. We're back inside. So, I spoke to Daniel and he also says he doesn't like it either. So, there goes my day's work. I'm going to take it all off again, and I'm going to do it using a camera trick.
And simsalabim, boom, now just the front.
Yeah, guys, really? Worked hard all day just to take it all off again now? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And we're done.
My little knife was still there.
I think this is a job for Daniel and me together. That way we can really decide together what we both like, instead of just letting my own train of thought run wild. And it's a wise lesson. From now on, I'll make a small design on the computer first.
Or at least get an example to show how I want it to be.
Because just doing it off the cuff like that, it's possible. But you see it. You might also get a bit disappointed, like in my case, I did my best for today. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. In the next vlog, I hope to have a wrap design, at least on paper, where it's just clear what we're going to do, how it's going to look. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next vlog. Ciao.